30 seconds of every session, so you're all aware, depending on which one you catch. So, Real Estate AI Flash, which is the podcast website, has all of the resources you'll ever need for the mastermind and more. So on the homepage of this, you see all the episodes. You can listen here. You can listen on your favorite streaming channel. You can subscribe to our weekly newsletter, which has got like 2,500 people plus, I think, at this point. I'm fast and furious working on a real estate AI academy that will get you certified as an AI skilled agent. You can join the waitlist here. It's coming soon, very, very soon, actually. Join now on Instagram. I have a broadcast channel. So all that stuff is there. But more importantly, let me point you to the top. AI Mastermind. If you click that, this is where you're taken to all your homework assignments for all the sessions, 6 sessions, as well as this session that I will post right after this training, this session, I should say. So as you can see, session 6 was whenever it was in May. And if you click on this, as we call it in tech, hamburger menu, or these 3 lines over here, you will see all of the previous sessions dating back to March 6th, all the way through May. Okay? And this is the first session in June. And if you click on materials and assignments, all of the sessions starting in March all the way through May 15th are here, and the June 5th assignment will be posted here as soon as this session is done, as well as the recording, when I can get the recording this afternoon. So I want to share that with you first. And let me also quickly share with you, this just dropped yesterday. I just feel like I should just mention it to you. Between sessions, a lot happens in the world of AI. And yesterday, ChatGPT dropped something that I think is going to change how you use ChatGPT very soon. So for now, this is in the paid ChatGPT. If you click on research, we've done a session on deep research before. I believe we did a little bit. Maybe we'll get back to it because stuff changes. So when you click that now, you will see sources. So up until really, the sources were really the web, right? Web, internet search. But now you can add, I've added Google Drive. So it can scour everything in my Google Drive if I ask it to go do that based on and do some research, okay? And I'll show you a very quick example. Today is not the day for this, but I just want to show you these are some advancements that are happening. And if I click connect more, there are several connectors. They've launched this hot off the press yesterday afternoon, and you are on an AI skill journey, so I feel like you need to know this. So if you use Dropbox for stuff, connect it, and it can reference it, and you can call it. And I bet we're going to see a lot more connectors here, so it can reference data that you care about, and you don't have to upload it. So more to come on this, but I did something yesterday that I want to just show you this so you can see the power of what that really means. Yesterday, if I can go to that thread and find it, AI tools for realtors. I think it was this, maybe real estate AI topics. This was it. So what I did was I did a research, deep research, okay? Find me topics that haven't been covered. So I've done 75 episodes as of yesterday. After a while, I feel like I lose track of what topics I did not cover. So I connected my Google Drive, find me topics that haven't been covered in my Real Estate AI Flash podcast series using the episode files under that. That's my Google Drive folder. To identify topics, should I focus on titles? Blah, blah, blah. I gave it some back and forth. And voila, it went and grabbed all of that. It's just a very simple example. I want to show you the power of connectors. And we'll probably do a whole episode on this once this sort of settles down. I'm saying episode, but it's really a mastermind session. You know, I'm in a podcast mode today. Just finished recording. So you will see it grabbed all of that and it gave me some topics that I can go through and say, okay, that makes sense. Let me cover that. Okay, so more to come on that, but I just thought I want to share that with you. Okay, so let's go to our first exercise and creating images. So I built, again, all of this stuff is in the show, in your homework assignment, a specific image prompt creator. So we're going to do 3 specific exercises today. We're going to walk through how do you build an image from scratch. We'll take a home, a person outside, maybe a realtor standing outside. That's the use case. But I've created a new custom GPT. It's called Camels because there's a framework for camels. And I'll tell you what each of those letters stands for. So you can understand how do you build really good creative image prompts instead of just typing it. Okay, so what does this GPT do? You know that's now when you click it, it says, I help you craft detailed cinematic style prompts. And we're going to walk through and build images today, right? Using the Camels framework designed for image models like ChatGPT, Gemini, etc. So what does Camel stands for? I had to come up with a name. It's easy to remember, right? C is for composition. How is the image framed? Is it a wide angle shot? Is it a close-up shot? You need to tell them that, right? Action, what is the subject doing, right? If there's a person in the thing, you can mention that. What is the tone, mood of the picture, atmosphere, sunlight, cloudy skies, etc. Environment, settings or background, and you'll see all of this come to bear. So lighting, subject, who are we, what is in the image, etc. Okay, so we're going to go, and this is the same exercise you have, so you can go through it. I'm going to pick this, so you can all sort of follow along here. So I'm going to go back to my chat GPT. There it is. Yes, I'm ready. And this GPT is designed to give you the prompt based on some basic stuff you're going to say. So I want to build an image of a realtor outside a luxury home holding an iPad in their hand. That's about what I gave it, right? But it's going to ask me questions now saying, where would you like the realtor positioned? So I'm going to say wide shot with the realtor on the left, okay? And eye level, okay? Again, I want you to play with this because you can create some super cool prompts. Realtor is positioned on the left, got it. Aside from holding the iPad, what is the realtor doing? Looking at the camera, okay? Because I want them to hold the iPad, look at the camera. You could also pointing to the house, you could do that stuff too. Looking at the camera is what I will tell it, okay? Again, you can, in your homework assignment, this is where you be curious and do other stuff. What kind of emotional tone or atmosphere should the image convey? Welcoming, okay. Mood, scene. Okay, I would say modern architecture of, this is asking me about the luxury home, right? Modern architecture. Yeah, I like palm trees at this point, so let me just go palm trees. Although Northeast, no palm trees. A modern luxury home, got it. What kind of lighting would you like to see? Um, Bright midday sun, okay? And it's suggesting things I'm typing, but you could type whatever and it'll pick it up. Can you describe the realtor a bit more? Gender, I'll just say female in her 40s, okay? Um, and I'm not going to say anything ethnicity. You can pick all that stuff then. Okay. Here's the full prompt, right? Now, look, it says copy and paste this image in a new chat with the image. Okay. Now, could you have written this? You probably could have, okay? But that took me all of a minute to walk through it, right? So I'm going to copy this, go to a new chat, and remember, you got to say, create an image, okay? Now I paste this and let it go to work, okay? As that is generating, I want to show you, look, sometimes we'll find AI tools. If you're deep into image creation, ChatGPT is a great place to start, but there may be some other AI tools that only focus on image creation, right? And we may not be able to get to all of them today, but if you say, I want to create stunning images, it may not be ChatGPT. ChatGPT will create some good images. So as it's creating it, I want to go and show you a couple others, okay? That I think you'll need to know. Just keep it in your tool stack. Leonardo.ai. I'm going to hit image, and I am going to paste the same prompt. You're currently on a free plan. Yeah, I know that. If I can actually, let me just refresh it. I may have finished up my credits here, probably. Image. Okay, you can see what I created here. I think I'm on a free plan here. So this is what this one created, by the way. Okay, for the same prompt. I just want to have you see that. And I'll also go to Midjourney, which is a paid program. Again, I'm showing you things that are focused on image generation. Should you get into these? Probably not. But it's good to be aware because you're on an AI skill journey. So let me show you a couple of things I did here. Create. If I go under create, these are ones I have done. As you can see, I prepare for these sessions, folks. So here's the image it created from the same prompt, okay, that I gave it the other day. Um, the other thing you'll notice with some of these image generation tools, like Midjourney as an example, they give you explore. So as an example, I'm just buying a minute or two as ChatGPT finishes. You'll find some really good images, okay? And when you find some really good images, let's just okay, take this, okay? This girl sitting over the nice iconic piece in London. So if I click this, I want you to see this Tower Bridge. Yes, I was looking for the name. This text is the prompt. So if I click this, use text, I get the prompt. Okay. And if I were to use this prompt, I can modify it. And if I just did um, uh, a, this is, I call it find prompts that are good and you can steal them for lack of a better, handsome young man. I may have messed that up, but it had something about the hair. So this is going to be actually a fun image to see what it's going to generate. But let's go back to ChatGPT. Okay, so this is the image it created. Okay, a good start. So I want to show you what you can do with images here. By the way, it's interesting. On the top left, or top right, I should say, on ChatGPT, you'll see something here, select. What this says is, we did the palm trees. Looks like a luxury home, but that looks like a lot more West Coast-ish, but all good for now. And it pretty much delivered most of the things we asked it for. But what if I said, you know what, I should want them to change. I want the iPad only to be facing the camera with a picture of this house. Okay, so you can do some edits. This is not like image editing on steroids, but you can do some light editing. So when you click on select here, you would, and I can go and kind of highlight that. Okay, I'm just highlighting the iPad and I'm going to simply say, flip the iPad to face the camera and with a picture of the same house showing. Do not change anything else about this picture. Now, as that's going, okay, let's take the same prompt and go to a couple other tools that you have for free. Grok is free. Grok is the XAI version. So we'll go create image and I'm going to kick it off. And sometimes you'll find some of these things are faster than ChatGPT, but it might give, look at this. It gives you two images like lightning quick. Okay. And sometimes these might work better. Like if you like this picture and look at this, they're watermarking it, which is probably a good idea. AI images. So sometimes you'll find tools that create it much faster. And I wanted to kind of share that with you. Okay, so that's Leonardo. I just wanted you to be aware of them. Feel free to play with it. Let me see what this one did. That is not a handsome young man. Tell you that, Leonardo. Okay, I think the long eggplant colored purple hair and gray eyes, which I did not say, and I said she. See, I did not change the whole prompt, so it's my fault. But it did something. Okay, all right. So first things first is I wanted you to be aware of this custom GPT that exists, which is primarily for building an image from scratch. Okay, so let's see what this did here. Okay, it is generating the image. Okay, let's give it a few seconds and let's see if it took my instructions and not, look at that, folks. Look at that. It did it. Okay, I think you need to celebrate for this edit. Okay, all it did, I don't think it messed with the picture of the person much. Let's see here. Um, yeah, I mean, little bit change in the picture of the person, but it did the instruction that I gave it. So you can, my point is you can select and change. I could probably do the palm trees, change this to regular, different types of trees. I could change the, pool length probably. I can say this and extend the pool. Minor edits. Again, I'm not suggesting you should not have a designer if you're looking for a really good picture, but that's a pretty good picture right out of the gates, okay? So I just want to share that with you. That's exercise number one, okay? Creating the picture through our custom GPT, which is our camels image prompt, get the prompt, and then take, create an image and edit the image. And try the same prompt in other free AI models like Grok. You could even go to Gemini. Let's kind of give it a whirl, shall we? We'll come back to this. Okay, let's see what it does. Your Gemini needs to understand what I'm asking. Okay, sometimes it just doesn't. Okay, we'll come back to Gemini. Okay. All right, so that's the first exercise I want to show you. Okay, let me see what I use. Topaz. Can we do an image of ourselves instead of an AI image? Deb, we're going to come to that. So great questions, all of you. Seth, you don't need to upgrade to the plus or the pro. I mean, plus, I'm sorry, $20. Having said that, the free chat GPT will max out and say you've used all your quota for the day and it's going to ask you to wait a few hours. So at some point, Seth, okay, if you have plus, but I'm saying this for the few hundred that are on the call, not everybody has the plus account, so this applies to them. At some point, you should pay for the $20 a month for ChatGPT because it is the deal of the century. Okay. Again, your goal is to become skilled with AI. So you can get skilled. You can start with free stuff, but you can get skilled with the free stuff, right? Because it's going to limit you. Okay. All right. Exercise number one complete. Second, now we're going to shift to taking, let me go back to our standard ChatGPT. Okay, we're going to take an existing picture. A lot of you take listing pictures. We're going to take a existing listing picture, have ChatGPT give us a prompt, and we're going to make a twilight version of that picture. A lot of you post twilights, and then what the third exercise is virtual staging, okay? An interior room. Those are the two things we're going to do. So sometimes, right, we will take we'll have ChatGPT help us build the prompt. You may know this already. Okay, so let's take a look at this, right? I need a comprehensive prompt for turning pictures of my listings from daytime to sunset or twilight. Okay, you can add that. And it's going to spell it, that'll be good. Time without anything about the house changing. Ask me one question at a time to build a prompt. And I want to show you this because once you build this prompt for yourself, because everybody on this call, your preferences are different. Once you build this prompt, you can just save it or rename the chat, and that'll become your Twilight chat, okay, for home pictures. And I see a lot of people doing this for the main home picture. So we'll walk through this and build one, okay? Okay, so I asked ChatGPT on a regular chat, what angle is the photo taken from? So I'm going to say front elevation, which is usually the home picture, okay? If you have an aerial shot, feel free, but I'm doing this as a demo. Perfect. What kind of twilight? I want to say regular with bluish sky. Okay. And you can also go sunset background. What should the sky look like? Clear. Dramatic clouds. I don't know what that is, but anyway, clear. Okay. Should the interior and exterior light show? Yes. That sometimes adds a little flair. What file format do you want the final image delivered in? Okay. You could literally take your main picture, add a second twilight picture to impress your buyers that are coming to your listings to see how it looks at night almost, right? So JPEG. Do you want multiple versions? For this one, I want to say, yeah, okay, two slightly different versions. You can see how you can sort of build your own prompt, and then I'll tell you how to sort of, should the final image be optimized for, it's going to walk you through it. MLS for now. Yeah, okay, MLS. Okay, got it. Everything, sh everything should remain exactly the same. Okay, got it. Here's the prompt it's given me now, right? Okay, let's kind of quickly browse through it and transform this front of a daytime photo of a residential, we're going to do this, into two web optimized Twilight versions. All the things that we sort of gave it, it's here. So I want to copy this, Control C or Command C from your keyboard, start a new chat, and I will paste this, and I will attach a photo of a home that I picked out, main home photo. And let's come in and let me show you that picture. That's the house in broad daylight. And I wanted to come back with two pictures. So we're giving it that. And if you like the output, you don't have to recreate this back and forth prompt. If you like this prompt, you can just save that prompt. And the way I like, there's several ways to do it. But if I go to my, see sunset photo editing prompt today, you just rename it and call it your Twilight prompt. So you always have it here. And we've done this before. You can search for prompts right up at the top. There's search chats. Yeah, they just keep moving stuff around. There was a nice little microscope there before. Okay, so if you just type in sunset, if that was my name, it'll just pop up here. Okay, there it is. Okay, so name it Twilight if you like what it produces, but let's see what it produces here. Okay, and creating image, taking a moment, and we asked it to do two images, right? Um, uh, Amy, you're gonna have to probably upload. Um, you can make you can't make a folder today at the time of this um, time of this mastermind, but we're gonna do a whole session on what I call as projects. Projects are really a version of GPTs, but like for example, I've written a book, right? Not written a book, written a chapter in a book, Agent to AI Gen. When I was writing this, I had a project for book chapter and I put all of my resources that I care about, my playbook there, and I worked on the chapter. Okay, so that's what it came back with. And it is probably a little darker, but let's just look at this picture. Twilight, a little bit, maybe not. And it kept the basic design elements. And although we said two, you haven't generated um, a second image. Okay. So let's have it do that. And let's see what that chat tells me. It can't link my Dropbox to itself. Okay, Tom, I you're gonna have to play with that a little bit more. Um, if Seth, if you have multiple people on your team having Plus accounts, you might want to consider ChatGPT for Teams. Okay, it gives you a little more flexibility. I think it's like $30 a month, not or 25 if you pay by year. All right, let's look at this image and see if it is how different. This is a little darker. I'm already liking this one here. Let's see here. So sometimes it doesn't take instructions, kind of like kids or even adults, right? So that's a better shot for me. This is, I would be impressed with this one versus that. It's too dark for me, but that's the original and that's our Twilight picture, folks. Okay, so you could do this. I mean, some of you are paying for this picture with a virtual staging service. Well, welcome ChatGPT. All right. Okay, the next and the final one we're going to do is we're going to stage a interior room that you have, okay? And I want to start fresh, new chat. Again, these are all your exercises that you have. And I'm going to go and pick this, it's on your exercise sheet, so you don't have to worry about it. And this is what I want. Again, we're going to use this in a comprehensive prompt for turning room pictures. I want to say interior room pictures, although that's probably obvious anyway, of my, and you don't need off my listings. It's sort of to a virtually staged. I want to copy this and make sure that your instructions are the same. There we go. Okay. Back here. Okay. So we want to have it interview us, ask some questions about virtual staging a interior room, and we'll do it live. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's see where we go with this. Got it. Okay. Look, this is good because sometimes it's fully furnished and it's like not good furniture. Sometimes it's empty and you want to help people, buyers potentially visualize this property. In this case, I'm going to say fully furnished, but a bit outdated. Okay. It's probably the fourth option. Okay. That's what I have picked the image that for the test. So it's fully furnished, but we want to reimagine it. Okay. Thanks. Do you want the AI to remove and replace the outdated furniture completely or stage around it to complement? Okay, so we will go stage around it. And maybe we'll just go with the replace. Replace it entirely. You can see why you need to do this for yourself and you can't rinse and repeat it. In some cases, you can. Maybe you build an empty house, reimagine a fully furnished one, reimagine prompts, and you keep it, rinse and repeat it. Okay. All right, let's see. Modern. Yeah, I'm gonna go modern. I'm not a Scandinavian kind of guy. Well, let's go modern. Purpose of the virtual staging. Choose a primary goal. Um, Visual storytelling, no. Space maximization. Yeah, well, let me just go with the broad appeal. Appeal to sell the home. Yeah, okay. But you can pick, if I can spell appeal, but it probably figured that out. Okay. One clean version. In the interest of time here, I'm going to say one clean version is what I need. Got it. Output, again, same thing, right? JPEG is fine. And now I'll have architectural elements that must remain untouched. Um, I would say Windows only, Windows and fireplace. Everything else can be reimagined. Voila. Fileless output specific for MLS. Okay, for now. Should the staging look, it's going to ask a lot of questions because it wants to get the prompt right. Do you want it to be slightly stylized? Like a design mag? Yeah, let's go aspirational. Again, make sure you divulge that it is virtually staged. I think we all do. That's professionalism, right? Transform. Okay, here we go. Maintain. Okay, and look, it's gonna transform this image of a fully furnished but outdated interior room into a virtually staged version, modern design, remove all existing decor, replace them with modern stuff. Windows and fireplace, it said leave exactly as is and output. Okay, I'm just gonna copy it. Use best judgment to maximize the setting. New chat, right? You gotta start a new chat. Probably work in the same chat, but I just want to show you this. So I'm gonna pick a living room. Let me show you this once it uploads. That's the current living room. Looks pretty good, but let's see if it can do better, right? I just grabbed that off of the web today. So usually you probably will stage something that looks maybe a bit more ordinary than that one, but you get the idea. Okay, so here we go. Let's go here. Okay. And you could probably take the same thing and go to the other tools we talked about. But let's just kind of see what ChatGPT does here. In the meantime, I'm going to go to the chat to see if some of your change garage door hardware tells me it can't link my Dropbox. Okay. When I've done the exterior house image editing, for green grass, seems that the more revisions of the image asks, also limit parts such as exterior lights by door. Again, sometimes you may have to tweak the prompt, Pam, to specifically say, exactly as is. Again, there is a little bit of trial and error here, okay? Because you are moving things around, and that's where the trial and error comes. And the better prompts you have, I believe you'll get closer to the finish line um, faster. But there is trial and error, no question, okay? But I mean, just look at how quickly we could get a twilight picture. Once you have that prompt, I don't think you're going to mess with the prompt much if it's the front elevation, and build 2, 3 different prompts, okay? And once you have them, just rename it on the left, or just a prompt. I'm going to teach, we'll do a session on how do you save prompts, build a whole prompt library. That's a whole nother topic. But for now, in the interest of time, I would say just rename your chat. So when you go to that one, interior room virtual staging, I think that's the one where, well, let me just refresh it. Um, okay, so that's the new chat we're on, which is what it's building the image. So I could call this, let's just say I like this. I'm going to rename this to modern living room staging. So if I know that's the name, I could go here. Prompt is already there. I can add other pictures and say, do this now, do this now, keep going. Now, let's see how well this room looks compared to finishing touches. And again, you can click on the image and say, change this wall color to something, okay? The scary part is all of us are designers now, okay? So you may end up screwing this up, but the beauty is you can run it again. All right. So, yeah, this is too modern for me, but I feel like it did something here. Now, one of the things you could do as it's coming up, we'll see the image. You can go here, reflect a clean luxury design. You can change the single word and it'll probably do a different image take because it's going to weave that luxury in. So again, my purpose of this session, again, this session and the next one on June 19th is all about images and AI. Okay, the next month, the topics will change in July, but June is dedicated to all things images, okay? And there's more to do with images, okay? These are just starting points. So today what we did was we created an image from scratch using the camels framework. We then took an existing image of a front of a house, twilight sunset shot, and then we took a interior room shot, built the prompt, and basically virtually staged it to look a little different than the original. And I would, if in your homework assignment, take an empty room and see if you can visualize it, okay? And sometimes you'll have to play with it. Also, edit the image like we did for the iPad, flip it, try playing with that. And I think that would be our show. Now, in the interest of completeness, we did talk about the pencil sketch. If you're joining for the first time, I included that in this homework, but you've done it, you skip it. But all of those things are in the homework assignment for June 5th, and this will be in your folder this afternoon within the hour, okay? And I've included, as you can see here, we covered this in an earlier episode, but upload a main photo of your client's house and tell ChatGPT to create a pencil sketch. We've done that, but just because it's images, I figured I'll include it for those of you that have not seen that. And our next mastermind is on June 19th, 2 weeks from today. Okay, so let's see what it did here. Okay, it's taking time to put the finishing touches. Let me go to, if I have any other images I need to show. This is Midjourney. Some of these images are actually way better than what ChatGPT came up with. And again, these are all focused on images, okay? So they'll probably do a better job, like Leonardo. Again, some of these, I don't pay for most of these things, but Leonardo's free plan, I played with it. So I just wanted to show you what's possible. And if you're going to do a lot with images, eventually you probably will get a tool that is specific to AI imagery, okay? All right. Okay, you get the idea. It's putting finishing touches. Should you say AI picture and listings? Stephen, I think virtually staged pictures, you ought to disclose it, that they're virtually staged in the description, etc. Photo description, yes, that's a good ethical practice for sure. Um, um, Amico, yes, you can save money on virtually staging photos. Now, this will not be true for all of your virtually staged pictures, but I think you see a recipe here for if you're going to do the just a room or two, great way to visualize it. And blue sky, yeah, okay, change. All right, I think we're good here. Let me see what else is going on. There's a Q&A. Okay, Tom Englet, welcome. Okay, so you get the idea, and we will reconvene uh, next week, June 19th. I do want to have you, Amico. I would play with it. Leonardo, I have the free plan, and I believe Leonardo and Midjourney are excellent for if you want to go knee deep in pictures. I will cover a bit more of that on June 19th, but we will not go that deep and cover a specific tool. But I believe my goal is to empower you with all things that are possible at the time of the session for each area we cover, so that you know what's possible. And I'll tell you, I'll promise you this, by the time we get to our end of the Mastermind series, December, mid-December, some of these tools will have gotten that much better. Okay. So that's how the speed of AI is changing. But if you know it and you play around with it, you find your processes and go from there. Thank you, Lindsay, as well as Kimberly and everybody. And make sure that you do the homework. And I will see you June 19th. Last announcement I want to make, July sessions are as is. September, I'm changing from 4th and 18th to 11th and 25th. Um, I will update the Google invites or Zoom invites. You'll know it. And for those of you that are, I covered connecting Google Drive into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT has updated their terms to say that any connectors you use in ChatGPT, they will not use to train the model. So good for you to know that. I had to read that before I decided to connect my Google Drive because there's a lot of privacy stuff in there. So appreciate all of you. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you June 19th.